people are talking about the upcoming election, and I've had some people in my circle kind of question, does their vote matter? Is it really important for them to make a choice between the two presidential candidates and get out and vote in November?
So let's now welcome the candidates to the stage. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Thank you.
Welcome to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you both here tonight.
Good evening. We are looking forward to a spirited and thoughtful debate.
Get out and vote. Rock the vote. Your vote matters. Hi, I'm Rochelle, and I'm an attorney. Even though I'm an attorney, I'm not your attorney. This video is for informational purposes only. It is not legal advice. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the branches of government and why it's important for everyone to get out and vote. Now, in my circle, be it my friends, my family, or my colleagues, this video is to encourage everyone to get out, do your research, be informed about the political candidates and what their positions are about issues that are important to you, because ultimately these decisions do affect everyone in their daily lives. So first, I just want to kind of give us a brief overview of the different branches of government in the US. So we have the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. So the legislative branch is the branch that encompasses Congress. Congress has two houses. They have the Senate, which we have 2 Senate members from each state. And then we have the House of Representatives. There's a total of 435 people in the House of Representatives. How many representatives from each state is dependent upon the population number, and every state must have at least 1 representative in the House of Representatives. So the legislative branch's main function in our government is lawmaking. The Senate confirms people who are appointed by the president to be members of the judicial branch, and they also approve the budget and have the ability to declare war. The second branch of government is the judicial branch, which is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is made up of 9 justices, and these individuals are appointed by the president. They are confirmed by the Senate, and they are able to maintain their positions for as long as they're willing to hold them. There is no tenure limitation or time limitation on a Supreme Court justice's ability to serve on that branch, unlike the other branches of government, which are subject to specific term limits, and they require the people to be reelected on a certain frequency. And finally, we have the executive branch of government. That includes the president, the vice president, and members of the cabinet. The president's main function is to represent the United States in diplomacy with other nations, to lead the country in times of war, to make suggestions to the legislative branch about Congress, to write the budget, which Congress will approve, and to work closely with Congress to get laws enacted and enforced. In some cases, the president may choose to veto a law by Congress, and even in that instance, Congress still has the power to have the bill still pass as law if they get the requisite number of votes. I'm going to kind of give everyone 3 reasons why I believe people should be informed and get out and vote in this upcoming election. The first reason is because the President of the United States is responsible for nominating cabinet members and Supreme Court justices. So what is the cabinet? The cabinet are the people who advise the president and are the heads of 15 different departments of the federal government. So, just for example, some of the departments, cabinet members are Department of the State, Department of the Treasury, Department of Defense, Department of Justice, Department of Agriculture, Department of Labor, Department of Health and Human Services, Department of Housing and Urban Development, Department of Transportation, Department of Homeland Security, Department of Veteran Affairs, Department of Education, just to name a few. So, as you can see, these different departments touch every aspect of our daily lives. Education touches people on a daily basis. Transportation touches people on a daily basis. Veteran affairs are important for people who are protecting and serving our country. Department of Labor affects everyone on a daily basis. Housing and urban development touches us on a daily basis. Department of Energy touches, our resources and how they're used and allocated. So these jobs are very, very important, and they really shape a lot of our day-to-day lives. And these individuals who are appointed as the head of these organizations are people who are appointed by the president. So we can see how this is important, because the president will often appoint people to these positions whose ideals, political goals, and objectives mirror their own. So while, the president, him or herself, may not be, at the helm of the Department of Transportation or the Department of Labor, they're putting in place a person who they believe will carry out the objectives that they've run on, or the policies they've run on in their campaign. So it's important that when you're electing a president, you're not only electing that individual, but you're electing all the people that they're going to appoint to these positions that do affect us and do touch us in our daily lives. The president also nominates Supreme Court justices. The Supreme Court is a member of that judicial branch, and as I alluded to earlier, people once nominated and confirmed on the Supreme Court, there are no term limits that are imposed like term limits on the executive branch or the legislative branch. So people who occupy these positions are able to shape how laws are interpreted for many, many years to come. This is really important, considering the fact that President Trump, during his presidency, was able to elect 3 people to the Supreme Court. And all of these people, like President Trump, have more conservative leaning values. And so as a result, we've seen a shift in the Supreme Court and in the decisions, and they have been more conservative leaning decisions. And many Americans have been surprised by some of the Supreme Court decisions that have come out recently. I think most notably, obviously, is the decision in Roe v. Wade to have that decision overturned, and for the right for women to choose their reproductive health, for that to be a decision that is left up to the states. And each individual state has different rules about what their policies and their practices are regarding a woman's right to choose, make decisions about their bodies. And so if President Trump was not able to elect 3 of these individuals during his time in office, who knows if that decision would have come out the same way. So it's really important to keep in mind that these are the kinds of people that, when you're voting for a president, considering, okay, if they're able to elect 1, 2, or in President Trump's case, 3 individuals to the Supreme Court, who are those people going to be, and what imprint will they leave on our judicial system? So that's like number 1 reason why we need to get out and vote, because we need to consider, who might a president appoint as as members to lead these different cabinet positions, as well as who they might appoint to the Supreme Court. The second reason to get out and vote is because not only are we voting for a president, but we're also voting for members of both the Senate and the House of Representatives who are up for re-election. So currently, there is a majority of Republicans in both the House of Representatives and in the Senate. What does that mean? Going back to our example of the Supreme Court's decision in Roe v. Wade, immediately after the decision, the final decision came out, President Biden made this public decree that he is calling upon Congress to enact a federal law to protect women's right to choose. Well, even though President Biden made this call of Congress, there has been no law finalized to date. And so this could be due in part to, President Biden is a Democratic president. Their Republicans are the majority in both the House and the Senate. And there can be some tension there where the policies don't align. So where a president might have a certain agenda or objective that they want Congress to execute, if there's tension between the parties and their ideals don't align, it's that much more difficult for the president's objectives to ultimately be carried out by laws by Congress. So getting out to vote, because you're not only voting for your president, but you're voting for who the people in the House, in the Senate are, and who our next lawmakers will be. So it's important to get out and vote for that reason. And the third reason to get out and vote is because your country needs you to be involved. I think, there are a lot of issues that are presently facing us on a day-to-day basis. We have the climate control, reproductive health, we have inflation, we have the country's financial stability. These are all really important issues, and they not only affect us on a day-to-day or an individual basis, but also our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids. And so listening to candidates, both political candidates, candidates who are running for Congress, and people who are running on a local level, understanding what their positions are about these issues, because we're at a critical point, when thinking about our financial health. Interest rates are high. Inflation, at least from my perspective, seems to be high. Bread costs $5 here in California. It's expensive. And so deciding who has the plan to address some of these issues, those are the issues that are important to me, but whatever those issues are that are important to you, being involved to make sure that we can shape these issues for now, in the present, so that we can make sure that when we're old and our children are leaders, our grandchildren are leaders, that we give them something to be proud of, an earth to be proud of, a country to be proud of. So get out there, educate yourself on the issues. Don't believe that your voice doesn't matter. Don't believe that your vote doesn't matter, because if everyone thinks that their vote doesn't matter, there'll be a small handful of people who will ultimately make all the decisions about our political future. So
let's now welcome the candidates to the stage. Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Thank you.
Welcome to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you both here tonight.
Good evening. We are looking forward to a spirited and thoughtful debate.
Get out and vote. Thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Leave some comments below if you like my commentary about the branches of government. If you have any questions, any topics that you want me to cover, or if there are any other cases that are interesting in the news that you want me to talk about, leave that information down below, and I will see you in the next video.